is Elika Rampala, and I'm here to talk to you about the past perfect simple. Well, the past perfect simple is a really special tense. It's what I like to call the oldest of the old tenses. And this is why the past perfect simple is a past tense. Well, if it's a past tense, why it is different from the past simple, which is also a past tense? I'll tell you why, because the past perfect simple had happened before the past simple. That's why it is the oldest of the old, because it had happened before the past simple action. So basically, when we learn the structure of the tense and when we learn when to place the tense and how to use it, it will become much easier. So what we need to do is remember the structure. We have the past of have, had, so we put had, and the verb in past participle. So if I wanted to generate one example based on this structure, I would just say, I had played football. I had played football. And this is the past perfect simple tense. Well, it makes much more sense if we put them side by side with the past simple tense. So we have the timeline here. We have a timeline here that will help us understand the placement of the tenses in the timeline. But before that, I want to introduce to you the sentence that I use, for example, in the timeline. This sentence. I had drunk coffee before I went to work. We see two tenses here. We see had drunk and went. Why is the one in past perfect simple and why is the second in the past simple? Simply because the first had happened first. First I had drunk coffee. Then I went to work. I had drunk coffee before I went to work. So this is the oldest of the old, but both tenses happened in the past. Both are past tenses. So this makes it easier to place the sentence in this. This is the timeline, this is the present, and this is the past where we are with these two tenses. This mark is used to mark the action that is the oldest. I had drunk coffee. This is the action that happened before, had happened before this one. First this, and then I went to work. This is in past simple. So this really helps me understand the placement of the tenses in the timeline, and it helps me bring this timeline to my mind every time I want to use this tense. So I really hope that the students will be helped by this timeline, especially those that really require a visual aid to understand something. This is their guide. Okay, so what we need to do after the presentation stage is generate a few examples in a controlled way. So I have these three examples that will help us. Just simple past perfect simple sentences, and then we'll go to a combination of the past perfect simple and the past simple. So we have I had, and we need to place the verb play in the past participle. So this is going to be I had played football, basketball, volleyball. I had played. Okay, so the second example here is Tom had, and we have the verb go. So Tom had gone. We place this in this, but not just like that. We put it in the past participle, okay? And we also have Alice had and the verb clean. Alice had cleaned. We put this in the past participle. And we can go on and generate examples like that. But I think that the most useful practice for the past perfect simple is not just that. It's not like just practicing the structure, but practicing it in a meaningful structure, in a structure that helps us understand how and when we use it. That's why I like to play a game called When I Was Born. This is a really popular game with the students too because they get to name 3 things that had happened by the time they were born. For example, I'll use myself as an example. When I was born, the TV had already been invented. That's not a cue on how old I am, just an example here. So when I was born, there had already been the internet. There had already been the internet. So you guys can also generate such examples and it will help you understand the way we place the past perfect tense in our everyday speech, in our everyday writing, uh, words, and our everyday discourse and communication. This is a really important tense. Although students find it quite hard sometimes to remember this tense because it's not as widely used as the past simple tense. I mean, the number of times that we're going to use the past simple tense is significantly higher. But the past perfect simple is also useful and also has a function within our communication discourse. So yes, it's very, very useful to use the past perfect simple. So you can make other examples like, by the time I went home, my husband had already cooked dinner. So first, the cooking of the dinner had happened, and then I went home. I hope this video was really helpful for you and try to practice the new material. See you